This area, this is the only area that we've started to have recovery just to get things cleaned up. You can see that these trees are numbered. There's a total of 70 of them. There's about 7 right in this area that were just topped and need to be taken down. In this section, you see a concrete or a fiberglass structure, which is a brand new multi-flow that was going to be installed the same week as the storm. It has had 2 trees fall on it, and it's gotten quite a bit of damage to the top and to the surface of it. All right. This is a group of the chairs and things like that that have were damaged in the storm. You can see up here this was an Anderson window that was taken out during the storm. Several of the outbuildings received damage. This one lost 3 windows similar to that. It also lost a breezeway walkway and some roof shingles. The cupola up in the top suffered some damage and needs to be refastened, or whatever the answer is to that. In this area, there are many trees down. This is in the back of the house towards the Cooper's property. This area has been cleared just to get going and start living here again. You see the fence line where the trees are down. These fellows have done an incredible job in a short period of time. Again, I'll look at the toppled trees. See the damage of the back here. Getting these trees down and out is going to be a major undertaking. You see the swing set has seen better days. Last week we found parts of the Little Tykes and playground and personal property up in the top of these trees. This is a window in the ice house that was blown out. The roof area in this, there was a little roof connecting the 2 buildings. It was destroyed and gone, in fact. Some more glass broke through there. A shot of by the swing set, looking back at the damage. Looking towards this side of the house, there's one tree that's down against the solarium. This large pine came from the other side of the walk. You see many parts of the sidewalk have been brought up by these trees that are up. This is an example of some of the trees that brought up the entire root system. Many of them were pulled up the underground plumbing system and water system that was on Cherry Island. I'll show you some pipes as we go along. This is a view of the tree that toppled over and broke that. There's some damage to the wood there. It broke the screens and the awnings off this porch, sleeping porch. Came across. There was some damage done to the top of the hot tub, the surface of the hot tub. All the things here were blown around. The barbecue, gas barbecue. There was a ton. This was a little kid's playground here. That many of the toys were damaged beyond repair. A lot of them were made out of plastic and didn't really fare very good to these trees. This is a close-up view of the damage to the wood in the solarium. You can see this tree is leaning here, and some of its branches are going through the roof up there and also through the screens, obviously. There's some damage to the stained glass window that's up there. We'll show that to you later. Some more of the damage is this rail has been shaken, this playpen, or this fences. You can see right over here where the door no longer closes. We have a life jacket sort of holding it. The cement underneath there has been damaged. focus. This is the tree as it hits on the house. Some damage to the stained glass window. Those up there, you can see that there is a screen windows that have been temporarily patched with the favorite old duct tape. They're sort of beyond repair, but just in order to keep the bugs out since the storm, we've taped them up. The awnings that were on there, you can see some of the blue awnings up on the top have been ripped up. They need to be replaced. On there, some of the screen damage here, you can see there's some damage here to these screens that need to be reworked and put on again. Again, you see the flagpole, which is gone through there. This is one of the trees, one of the many trees along the front row that is gone. Number 52 here. Some of these other trees can be salvaged. We're hoping to get quite a few of them salvaged because we're sort of without a lot of trees. The foundation and the satellite dish were blown over, causing, if you can see right there, I don't know if it shows up very good, the mechanism for it is apparently beyond repair because of that arm thing on the back and the other side. There's been some experts out taking a look at it. This is a glass top table. The tabletop was lost, presumably it's swimming someplace in the St. Lawrence River. This is the beginning portion of where the electricity, which comes in at this pump house, comes in downstairs. It goes from here. It was an aerial wire. You can see the wire laying down now. It goes to that pole. I think there was another tree in between it, and then there were 4 or 5 trees where it went down there. That will need to probably have a couple posts put in now because there's not enough trees on its way. Now inside the pump house structure, there were 2 windows, maybe 2 windows that were blown away during the storm. The frames and everything are now gone. This is a tree that helped knock down this electric service to the boathouse. One of the things that I want to point out is there's no longer water system down to here. You can see that the piping, there's a 4 or 3-inch pipe that carried water from the house out to this area and further is gone. You'll see that under many of the trees here. These creatures had been repaired in the last year. As far as I don't know if this shows up very well, but there are cracks in it, and that we think were suffered from just the force of the wind coming through here. Okay, this is part of the walkway and the decorative flower beds. You can see that the tree that hit here has broken loose this top part that needs to be refastened to it. There's a lot of damage over here from the large number of trees that came down. Unfortunately, that tree is probably gone, but can't be pushed back up. There are some other damages caused by pulling of the water pipes that I think is going to cause for some pretty good repairs to the water system. I'm now standing in our gazebo, which is a 100-year-old structure, stone. It sits out on the point. You can tell from my filming that there's a lot more light in the gazebo now because there's no roof. This is where the roof was, and you can see there's some damage. Right there is a piece of damage where it needs to be repaired before it gets worse to it. That's a full circle of the gazebo. If you look out this way, I hope you can see the roof structure of the gazebo is now in a tree about 50 or 60 feet away. The roof missed the first two trees and must have been flying like a frisbee. Right here next to the gazebo is a tree that we've come to call number 86. 86 is the top number of the trees that are down here. You can see the root system, that the damage it caused. There's a piece of the drainage system that ran through here. There's some more of the pipes over there. Number 86 is a huge tree. It caused damage there. It has the roof in it. I think the roof actually hit. There's signs on this tree that the roof skirted through there and then hit there. I don't think the roof helped knock down the tree, but at least the roof was touched number 86. This is one of the people coming to, one of the bird brains that wanted to come look at the damage afterwards. There's another example of some of the stonework that needs to be repointed or something, that the damage that happened when the building was shaken.
No.
I think your real visit, you can see where things have happened. You can tell these fresh cracks. I'm a little worried about the base of the gazebo over here on the south side. I think as the tree came up and roots broke off, this side definitely needs to be looked at and support given back. I think that whole beam there is where the problem we talked about before. And you look up there. We now have sound effects in this thing, sponsored by Grant. This is another example of the piping and the water system that now is torn up. This piping went all through the root systems of these trees, also with a lot of rocks. Rachel's pointing out a nice root that is here on the ground. There's some stonework underneath this tree that I'm fairly sure that probably has some damage to it. There you see the backside of the roof from the gazebo and how precariously it is placed away from the gazebo. There was no damage to the hammock, and it'll be back in action very soon. As we come back up on the top of the hill, you'll see that this grand tree fell onto much of this stonework again. And also another tree fell and tore up the annual Cherry Island garden. I think you can see it under there. We may be able to pick out a cabbage here or there. That actually looks like some corn coming up there. This is where that electric line, aerial line, came across. It's hard to get into focus, but there was another couple trees that it touched to. Then it proceeded across there and down to the boathouse. This is a part of the water line that goes down the path from the house to the boathouse that's been broken up in many more parts than just this. This is one of the trees that held the wire. There's some damage to this stone wall that went through. Here is a view of the back, tree number 27 there, going on over. There's some more of the wall on top of the garden that is down. There's also a bench that was underneath there that needs to be replaced. This is part of the island that was serviced by a cement walk. You can see this walk has been torn up, and underneath here this tree also brought up more of the pipeline to it, and caused a great deal of damage to this cement walk. More of the trees that came down. This is tree labeled number 37 near the boathouse structure. You can see that some of the trees, that if they're not down, they're heavily damaged up on top. This is a tree that's down, and this is a little tool shed with an addition. It's been pushed to the east. It needs some shoring up, or if it's safe to be shored up. It's got a little bit of a tilt to it now. The door doesn't look like it would close, and needs a little bit of straightening up. From the top hill of behind the boathouse, you can see a 13-foot Boston whaler that was placed over on the flatland has been hit with a little bit of crush work on the transoms of both sides. That it suffered some damage from this storm, from all these trees that came down on top of it. Here's a view of the ramp to the boathouse with these trees crushed it. We have taken the trees off just so we can survive here. And there's part of the skiff that's been damaged. I'll show you a closer view of that. From this view also you can see that some of the windows in the top section are cracked. This one was blown away, a semicircle light. There's one glass window on the inside of the boathouse that was destroyed. There is a window that is broken. Here's another view of a tree falling down. It's hard to tell whether there's any damage to this seawall as of yet. This is the St. Lawrence skiff that was in its same position it's been for 100 years. Unfortunately, a tree wanted to be in the same position. There's the damage there. Luckily, it's not to the keel or whatever. But anyway, that's the damage to it. There's a garden cart that suffered a little bit of damage from the tree coming down upon it. These patches here are patches we put on after the storm where limbs went through the trees. This area that I'm standing in was completely covered with trees and limbs and broken by. The bottom of this rail has been broken. We've quickly repaired it because of just to be able to walk down it. Done a quick patch on this bottom part and on the top, but you'll see that there's many through holes through it, and it's in quite bad shape. This dock that I'm standing on has suffered more holes. It definitely needs to be repaired. This is a large hole underneath here. This is a shot from our dock in some areas of the top of the ridge. This is an area known as Rachel Rock over there. About half of the top of this roof, flat roof, metal roof, was ripped out and rolled up and actually disappeared. From the outside of the boathouse, I'm hoping to show you the separation from the wall of this balcony on the second floor. We're now in the middle of the walkway here.
Keep going, Grant.
This is looking back towards the boathouse. These are the roots and wires that have been pulled up.
There's a ship. Is that the first one we've seen today?
Part of the damage here. You can see from the house. This tree is in a precarious place. Need to be taken down for safety. There was a little Tykes playhouse here on this platform. It was gone from the damage. You can see there we're back to where I showed you with the swing set. That's down. We think that's a piece of the little Tykes playhouse, but we haven't been able to find the rest of it. There were many little toys. There's a lawnmower that was broken in a storm. A very precious pink flamingo. There were also some little rolling scooters and toys and basketball things that have been torn down. This was said to have been the largest collection of playground toys for little kids in the area. There's a few spots up on the roof where shingles have been torn off, and it's down to the roofing. That'll need to be replaced.
They also say both died in the Titanic. Yeah, that's not fair. The Harry Tweed sisters only died in the Titanic. I think that's good too. Yeah, I think we have to get our storm quarters up in the water tower. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. That didn't get blown. It's almost like the trees were kind of intertwined in each other, and that's what kind of added to it. Yeah.
Can you go a little?